Hey everyone, so this video was filmed in July of 2018, and just with everything else that I had going on in the past year and a half, I never got it up for you guys, but I did a poll on Instagram to see if you guys wanted me to edit it, and there was an overwhelming number of you guys that still wanted to see it. I think a lot of the information in it is still relevant for how I run my business now, and there were some really great questions in it, so I definitely wanted to get it up for you guys. But regular new content that is not pre-filmed like this one years ago will resume shortly, so stay tuned for that.
Hey everyone, it's Talia here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. I had posted on Instagram as well as my Facebook group a couple months ago asking beginner nail techs or people who are just starting their nail business what sort of Q&As you had for me for just starting out. And it created this really great thread. You guys asked some great questions that I'm hoping I can give you some tips and tricks and some advice about. A lot of the questions on both of those threads were very similar and repeat questions. I kind of thought about like taking your questions and making like a ton of separate videos. I think this would be a good reference though to have one video where you guys can all kind of refer back to. So let's start. Oh my gosh, 107 questions. How important do you think coming up with an innovative business name is, especially with regards to social media? I think with growing your business in any sense, it kind of depends what you want from your business. Are you trying to grow your name on social media? Are you trying to build a clientele? I think those are both things to keep in mind when you're designing your business name. I do think it is important though. For me, I knew that I always wanted my name in my business name. So my business name I've had two business names over like the course of my career. Dived more into YouTube, I switched everything over to my YouTube name because I wanted it to be cohesive. So that was a name change, but I still tried to keep my personal name in the title because it is a unique name and I wanted people to know my name from it. I think it's important, but you also want to be careful because you don't want something that is a lot of people already have. You don't want something that is hard to remember. You don't want something that doesn't make sense. You don't want something that's long. I do think it's important, but I also think that you need to keep in mind what the point of your business is and come up with a name that kind of reflects that. Okay. What kind of school must I attend to be a nail tech and open a business? This is going to vary depending on your location. Where I live, nails is not a regulated industry, so you can attend like a weekend course and be considered a certified nail tech. Different provinces, different states, different countries are all gonna have different requirements of what you need to be in order to be certified or licensed. They are two separate things. So it's something that you want to look at with your specific state, city, country, location, wherever. And as far as opening a business goes, it's the exact same thing. Where I live, it is the municipality that I live in that controls a business license, and that is where I need to find out what their regulations are. Some cities require you to have provincial guidelines followed as well, some cities don't. Some cities require you to have ventilation, some cities don't. Some cities require you to have a health inspection, some cities don't. It's gonna vary depending on your specific location. So I always like to suggest to start with your city first, contact them and see what they require, and then contact your provincial or your state board. And like I said, some countries have different stipulations as well. So talk to whatever your board is, specifically where you live. Okay, is it important to get business insurance in this beginning stage, especially if I'm working from home? Yes, hands down. You have a business, get business insurance. When we moved my business home shortly before I had Rose, we didn't get business insurance. I didn't switch anything over because I knew I wasn't going back to work anytime soon, so we just kind of left it. And then when I was going back to work, I contacted my insurance company and let them know I was running a business out of my home. What requirements did they require? They instantly canceled our home insurance policy knowing that we had a business in the house. We were scrambling to try and find home insurance that would cover both my business and home insurance. So if you do not have proper business insurance in your home, if something were to happen such as, let's say your house caught on fire, your specific location for your business in your house might not be covered. And if there was something in your nail studio that was the reason of it, it might not cover your insurance in the rest of your home. 100% look at getting proper business insurance. Business insurance can also cover liabilities such as if your client falls down the stairs or if your client gets like an infection or something, God forbid, let's hope that doesn't happen. But 100% look into insurance when you are opening a business of any kind. Even, I would like to even say if you're working on just friends and family, because you never know what could happen. At least do your research and look into what's required and what it covers. After a beginning nail course, which other courses do you recommend and what order? I think continued education at any time is good, and I think I think you can never learn too much. If I were to suggest something, if your basic course did not cover proper shaping and proper structure, that's where I would focus my attention. The more courses you take on proper shaping, proper structure, the less product breakdown you're gonna have of your clients, which will keep your clients coming back. So even if you're not taking art courses and stuff that might be fun, if you have great structured nails, you're gonna have repeat clients, because clients want nails that are gonna hold, clients want nails that look good. So if I were to suggest one thing, it would be to focus on your shaping and structure right after you take your beginning courses. That was something I didn't do. I divulged right into the art, and when I look back at my shaping and my structure on my nails, I wish that I would have focused more attention on it, because I feel like I'm doing it now and it's almost like harder to do later on. As far as art courses go, same thing. You can never take too many art courses. I think I would suggest taking basic art courses to begin with if you're not familiar with art. Maybe take some stamping courses. I personally find stamping a really easy thing to introduce to nail art, and it's very diverse. You can do a lot with it. Also take some art classes that focus on like embedding glitter and maybe some like line work and stuff like that. Those basic art techniques that you learn, you can definitely take further into your nail art. Okay, how important are business cards, or is it mostly online social media nowadays? So for me, this is something I know is going to get asked further down. There are two things that grew my nail business: word of mouth and social media. I think both are imperative, and I do think you should have business cards, not just to hand out to prospective clients. Also, if you're attending nail shows, 100% have your business cards ready. It's one thing that I recommend to bring to nail shows. It's one thing that will kind of connect you. You can get to know other nail tech. What I did when I was designing my business cards initially to grow clientele is I had all of my business information on one side, and then on the back of my business card, I did have like a client referral card as well, referred by, and it would have your client's name at the top, and then it would have a spot that would say, present this card at time of service for 10% off your first service. And then when I got that card back to me, my client that referred that client would also get 10% off their next appointment as well. Especially when I took my business full time and really wanted to get clients in. I gave those to all of my clients, and it definitely helped grow my business. I think having a standout business card is great too. Don't go crazy buying a ton of business cards right off the bat though, because for me, I changed my style of my business cards as my career kind of developed and the more nail art that I got into, because I wanted my nail art on my business cards. So if I could suggest not buying a ton of them, that would be something that I would do.
As I'm editing this video back, there's something else that I wanted to add to this particular question. I do think it looks more professional if, let's say, somebody sees your nails out and about, and if you can hand them a business card to direct them to your social media or direct them to your website or anything where they can get more information. I think it looks more professional. Plus, it's really easy for you to do instead of trying to write this all down or show them on your phone where your social media is. I definitely think business cards are important if you're trying to grow your clientele. Okay, back to the video.
Okay, how do you know when to increase your prices? So I think when you're first starting out, you've just taken a basic nail art course, you do want to make sure that you are charging something for at least your product costs. You can't just be giving away your services for free, even right off of the bat. If you have clientele that is returning to you, that you're kind of getting more into it, make your prices kind of standard on par with other beginning techs in your area. As you take more courses, there's a couple different things that you can do. If you're finding that your clients are coming back and they have less lifting, you're doing more nail art on your clients, you're generating a good clientele, I would say increase your prices there to be maybe a little bit above what a beginner nail tech would do. Another option is every time you take a nail workshop, raise your prices by $3 to $5. I know other techs have done this as well. So if you've taken like 10 different nail courses, you have a lot of education under your belt, and you need to be charging for that education. One of the biggest tips that I can say is if you are at full clientele, you have clients that are booking 2 to 3 weeks in advance, books are full, raise your prices. What this is gonna do is it might flush out some of your clients already, but at the same time, you are a wanted tech, so you wanna make sure that your prices are on par with the demand of your services. I think that pricing is something that could probably be its own video. It's so hard for me to tell you guys what to do with pricing because everybody has a different location, everybody has different education underneath them, everybody has different services that they offer, so it is hard for me to tell you guys what to do with your pricing. Hopefully those few tips and tricks helped you though. This is a good one. Family/friend discount amounts. My mom has been the only one that has gotten free nails for the entire time that she's coming to me. She gave birth to me. I feel like the least I can do is give her free nails. When I was first training, The people that came to me from the time that I took my nail course until the time that I raised my prices to reflect like a basic nail price, any of those clients that were still with me still pay that same rate. I only have one of them left, and so she is the only one that pays that same rate. I think she pays like $35 a fill, and her rate will always stay that way. So if I can suggest that, I would. As far as other friends and family, they pay full price. I'm a strong advocate for supporting small businesses and supporting local businesses and supporting your friends and family in the ventures that they choose to do. So personally, I wouldn't give friends and family discounts. I know a lot of people do, but I feel like if you are running a business, your friends and family should respect it and treat it like a business. Not a lot of friends and family are gonna think that. A lot of friends and family are gonna think that you should be getting a discount. I leave that up to you guys to decide what to do with it. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion about the friends and family discount. For me, it's worked out well. If my friends and family feel like my prices are too high and they go elsewhere or whatever the case may be, I 100% get it. I'm not gonna expect friends and family to come to me either. How much money to invest in your collection, art and otherwise, before feeling set up? I feel like is another hard question to answer. Any of the money that I made for the first few years working part-time of nails went straight back into my nail business. Initially, you're gonna have to have some startup costs. You're gonna need a desk, you're gonna need an e-file, you're gonna need a desk lamp, you're gonna need gel lamps, you're gonna need a client chair, you're gonna need a chair for yourself, you're gonna need some basic nail art supplies, and I would say, including your nail course, expect to spend about $5,000, depending on location, depending on what you want, before you even open your doors, before you even start taking clientele. That will give you a realistic idea of your nail desk, your course, your e-file, all of that basic stuff, as well as build some basic stable nail art stuff. Expect for the first year or two, any of the money that you're making from clientele will be reinvested into your business to go into advertising, to go into business supplies, to go into building your nail art collection, to go into replenishing supplies. So don't at all expect to make a bunch of money right away, but generally I would say probably about $5,000. Okay, if you're working from home, how much inventory should you have? How many different colors, glitters, pretties, brushes, etc.? What colors to purchase, how many colors, which products to use, amount of crystals to use? This is a hard question to answer. I don't think it overly matters if you're working from home or if you're an independent tech, because my business outside of the house was run exactly how it was when I moved my business home as well. So I think it just kind of depends whether you're an independent tech or if you are working in a salon. Anyway, how much inventory should you have? You're gonna need some of your basic colors. You're gonna need some blacks, some whites, some pinks, some purples, some reds. If you're having a difficult time building up your collection, you don't wanna invest a lot, look at getting some just your basic like primary standard colors and mixing your own colors. It's something I never wanted to do, but it is a way to kind of save money and cut down costs when you're initially starting out. I also want to suggest buying collections because they are cheaper than buying the products as a whole. So when I was building up my collections, anytime LCN, Light Elegance, Fusion, whenever they would have like their big launches of colors, I would always get those collections as well. I would also watch for sales because a lot of companies have like 2 major sales a year, usually in the spring, usually in the fall/winter, and that is when I would stock up on all of my colors that I wanted. Companies like CanWest have their 10% Mondays, so if I was replenishing stock that I needed on hand, I would wait for a sale for that. You just gotta look at your bottom line for building your inventory and shop sales and shop collect. How many different colors, glitters, pretties, brushes? Don't go crazy with nail art when you first start out. Get yourself some basic stamps, get yourself some basic stamping polish, get yourself some like basic chunky glitters, Swarovski crystal colors, some clear, any nail art medium that you want to start out with. Just get some staples that you're going to use on your clients all year round. Examples, Swarovski crystals, get yourself some clear, get yourself some AB. You can do a ton of different stuff with just those 2 colors in a few different sizes. Same thing with stamping. Get yourself just a black and white stamping polish. You can do black and white stamping polishes on any sort of design and you can create some really fun looks with it. Get yourself some basic stamps, some scrolling, some lace, maybe some florals, just something that your clients are going to gravitate towards that you can take through any season. Your go-to favorite nail art technique that can work with any set that every tech should master. Crystal application, marbling, which is your client's fave. I would probably probably have to say stamping, because I feel like nail stamping is so versatile. You can use it for any occasion. You can use it for themed nails. I'm not the best hand painter, so for me, stamping works like really well. I find it easy once you get the hang of it. I've actually always stamped, like ever since I started my nail business about 10 years ago, I've always stamped. Another thing would probably be like zebra and leopard print. If you can master that, I feel like you can use that for so many different nail art techniques. If you want to get more into hand painting, I would suggest working on your fine line details, because you can carry that through any sort of season. Marbling has been another favorite of mine that I've used on my clients like ever since I started. It's easy, it's unique, clients love it. Crystal application I didn't get into until a few years after I had started, but I use crystals all the time now. My clients love it. The things that attracted clientele to me is using Swarovski crystals, because where I live, there wasn't a ton of nail techs using them initially. Just learn a couple basic nail art things and it'll help carry you through the rest of your career. Okay, this question here, I actually have like an entire video up on. Beginner nail tech insecurities. Should I go back to school for a real job? Will I make it to a fully booked schedule? Am I any good? I have a complete video up on this. It is, what is it called? Oh, it's titled So You're Just a Nail Tech. It's a long rambly video, so if you guys are into long rambly videos, definitely check that video out. It will help you, I hope, feel a little bit more secure about what you're doing. I think that if you want to be successful in any sort of business career, you have to be persistent, you have to work on it, and you have to work on it all the time. You can't just expect to work on it like on the weekend and things are going to keep growing for you. You have to really have a passion for it and keep working your butt off to succeed for it, especially when you're self-employed. Okay, how do I base/create my price list? I tend to say one price, then change it if I think it's too long or don't like the outcome, but don't tell my clients how I feel. I just feel bad sometimes. I feel like this is something that like we all struggle with being self-employed. Even to this day, I'll look at a nail design and I'm like, should I really charge that price? Yes, you should. Stick to your prices. Pricing is something that is so difficult. One thing that I do want to say to you guys is you have to make sure that you are charging for your supplies, but you also have to make sure that you're charging for your time. So especially if you're applying like a ton of Swarovski crystals, yeah, those Swarovski crystals might cost you 5 cents to, I'm just throwing out a number here, but they are gonna take you half an hour to apply to your clients. And you also have to bring in glue and a crystal applicator and maybe micro swabs and a whole bunch of different colors that you have to carry because they want all of those different colors. You have to take all of that into consideration when you're making your price list. For me, my price list now are based on nail length. I found that this to be the easiest way to make it fair for all of my clients, because I was finding if I had just a full set price and a fill price, some of my clients that had super short nails were paying the exact same price as my clients that had really long nails, and I didn't think that that was fair. I've broken it up into short, medium, long, and extra long nails. I also charge for every little thing that I put on my clients' nails. So I charge for crystals, I charge for stamping, I charge for embellishments, I charge for anything that I embed, I charge for all of this different stuff because it is a cost to bring it into the nail studio. Just take that into consideration, that if you were to look at the set of nails that you did on your clients, how much did it cost you to bring all of that stuff into your nail studio? How much is your time worth to create those nails? How much education do you have to be able to create those nails? And take all of that into consideration when you're pricing. You also have to remind yourself that you are worth it. You are worth those prices that you charge. Okay, there's a question here on how to gain speed. I have a whole video up on this on how to do nails quicker. Advice on committing to the right brand of products and using what works for you without breaking the bank. A lot of companies offer sample kits, so if you were looking for a specific gel line to use, I would suggest getting like a Light Elegance sample kit, a Fusion sample kit, an Amore sample kit, whatever it is that you were looking to try out, and kind of play around with it and see what works for you. I had my training with Accents, and I've kind of like tried a whole bunch of different things. You guys know, like that's basically what my channel is based around, is like trying new different nail products. But the reason that I settled on Fusion is because I found that it was super easy to use. I got far less product breakdown and lifting than any other brand that I've tried. So eventually you just kind of have to figure out what works for you. And the best way to do that is to try a bunch of different things and try a whole bunch of different sample kits. Reach out to the companies if you have questions about their products. They are more than happy to make sure that you are having success with their line and answering any sort of questions. Do you recommend offering every service you learned in school? Example, pedicure, manicure, hard gel, acrylic, or focusing on just a couple you really love doing? I am only trained in gel nails. I never took any classes on how to do acrylics or pedicures or aesthetics, anything like that. In all honesty, a lot of the other areas just did not interest me. I was able to grow a successful business with just offering gel nail services, and I was a-okay with that. At one point in my career, I thought about taking like makeup training. I even considered taking like lash training, and when it came down to it, I loved nails so much that that is what I wanted to focus on. Now, there's a lot of people out there who have had successful aesthetic businesses by offering a whole bunch of different services. The nice thing about offering different services, especially if you were to offer something like waxing, is at the end of the service, you can quickly add in a $10 brow wax and you're making a little bit more money. So kind of just have to do what works for you. I've also seen other nail techs who have taken a whole bunch of different things and their businesses aren't as successful because they haven't specialized in one area. It kind of varies. I don't even really know if I can answer this just because I have only ever focused on one service and it's worked out okay for me. How to properly administrate your money, how to save money, and how to invest in your business. Again, I'm not the best person to ask any sort of financial questions too. You guys know I love to shop and that's one of my downfalls. But I think the best thing that I can do, that I can say to you, is keep track of what's coming in and keep track of what is going out. Also keep track of what you need to reinvest in. Keep track of how far a pot of gel goes for you. So if you open a pot of gel and it lasts you 2 weeks, you need to keep in mind that, okay, every 2 weeks I need to be replacing this $60 pot of gel. So keeping track of that really helps. Also shopping sales really helps. I've mentioned this before, but any companies that have like large sales throughout the years, those are the ones that I would focus on, and that's where I would order the majority of my supplies and stock up for the next 6 months. So if I know that that tub of gel is going to last me 2 weeks and I'm stocking up for 6 months, when I shop those sales, I'm buying like 12 of those pot of gels to make sure that I have enough for the next 6 months. That really helped when I was working full time. It also helped because I was saving a little bit of money by doing that. So any of that money that I was saving, I could reinvest into buying new collections or different nail art things. It's so hard because all of these companies keep coming out with all of this like amazing nail art stuff that you probably want to try. So it's hard to know what to buy out of all of this different stuff that's coming out. And it's hard not to get sucked into like the new or limited edition or all of this different stuff. That is what my channel is designed to help you guys with, is to figure out, okay, I've watched your video, I love this collection, but maybe I don't need the entire collection. I loved all those stamping plates that you showed in that video, but I would only use a couple of those. So that's kind of what my videos are designed to help you with. As much as like I say that I hear from you guys that they're kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes I introduce you to new things that you had no idea about and you want those too. Definitely do your research and kind of look at what nail art you're looking at and be like, would I actually use this on my client? Is this just a fad, something that won't last for very long? That'll help you decide what to invest your money into as well. Seriously, you guys, I'm not very good at answering money questions. Okay, I feel like this is a really good question. How do you balance work with Rose? What do you do with her during work? As a new mom and nail tech, I can't find time to be reliable enough to schedule appointments.
Okay, so I took everything out of what I said in this video back in 2018 because when I filmed this video back then, I wasn't even pregnant with Violet yet. So now things are just completely different, like a year and a half later. I have a 10-month-old and I have a 3-year-old, and I personally cannot work on clients when I have kids in the nail studio. This has been a policy of mine since like as long as I started. I just personally get too distracted, cannot focus, and it just works better for me if I schedule my clients like around when I have care. Now, the care that I have for my kids is my husband. He parents them when I am working, and that's really the only time that I work on clients. So I can do like a weekend or evenings is basically all that I can schedule my clients for now. And you guys know that if you keep up with my vlogs that I typically work on Saturdays, basically all day long for clients, but I can only take 3 clients those days because of filming and like all of the kind of crazy nail art that I do on my clients. Typically that's just sufficient amount of time for me for working on clients. And I do take the odd client during the evening, just kind of depending on our schedule. So I will be the first to say that it is a true balancing act. And back in 2018 when this video was filmed, my mom watched Rose for me on Friday afternoons, which really helped a lot. And then fast forward to now, and we really just have care on evenings and weekends. So it seriously is constantly changing. So the best thing that helped me balance this all is 1, having a great support system with trying to juggle everything. 2, having clients that were flexible enough with me to understand that things are going to change. And that was one stipulation that I had when I initially started taking clients back after I had Rose, and same thing with Violet. You basically had to, I don't want to say had a flexible schedule, but just be understanding that if things came up and I had to move you around or anything like that, those were the only clients that I was able to take. And I knew that this wasn't going to work for everybody, obviously. But the clients that are with me have been with me through 2 babies, through tons of schedule changes, and are basically for filming now. So it's just completely different now. And I know this was a super rambly answer, so I really hope that it gave you guys a little bit more insight, but we are constantly trying to figure this out all of the time.
How do you display or make available your credentials/certificates? So in all of my nail studios that I had where I was looking to build clientele, I always had my certificates displayed. Another option, if you don't want them like displayed on your walls, if you don't have the wall space, is to put them all in a binder so that they can scroll through if you want. This is a really good tip that I've seen in nail groups too, is with your certificate, take a picture of the nail art demos that you did, or glue the nail art demos that you did by your certificate so that clients know like what that actual certificate represents and what you learned in that workshop. I do think it is important to have your credentials on the wall or somewhere where clients can access them. They know what you're qualified for and what you can do on them. This will also offer, if you've taken a lot of different nail art classes, this will offer a chance for them to see what you can actually do on their nails too. I do think it's important. How often do you recommend upgrading, expanding your knowledge? You can't take too many nail training. I would set yourself some goals. For me, it's usually, depending on what I'm working, it's usually 2 to 4 training sessions a year is what I try and do for myself. I love nail training, so if I can take as much nail training as humanly possible, I will. I don't think you can take too much, but just set yourself some goals of what works for your timeline and your budget. Tips, tricks, or recommended courses for creating your own brand. Ooh, this is an interesting topic. This is something I would love to do a video on as well, but I mean, I always have ideas and I don't have enough time to do all the videos that I want to do. I think that it's hard to create a brand before you've really started working on clients. As much as you want like that really fabulous logo and you want like everything to be cohesive, I think keep your brand to a minimal when you first start, because it's going to develop and it's going to change as you go. For example, when I first started, my brand definitely didn't reflect the nail art that I did and what I could offer for my clients. And as it kind of grew and changed, I started getting like a better logo. I started taking better pictures of my nails. I started getting some professional photography done of my nails, and that's where my brand really grew. I do think it's important that people see a logo and know that it's yours, but it's hard to know what you want that logo to be right off the bat. So if I can offer advice when you're first starting out, keep your brand minimal and allow your brand to change and develop as you get more clientele and as you kind of develop what your signature style is for your nail art. How can I expand my business without being annoying about it to family and friends? Honestly, you guys, when I was growing my business, it was not friends and family that were the clients that came to me. It was maybe a few friends and family, and from there, they're friends and family, but it was a lot of people that I had just advertised to on Facebook, and it was not friends and family. It's so crappy because I feel like a lot of the times friends and families don't support their friends and families in their business ventures. It's almost like they're like skeptical of it and they don't want to. I don't know, you see this a lot with like direct sales as well. People would rather like support Sephora than buy like makeup from their friend. And I'll never understand this, but it's kind of the way that it seems to go. So I wouldn't focus on your friends and family to be the source of your business income. I would definitely say that You expand your business by focusing on new clientele that you haven't even met yet, utilizing word of mouth and social media. Questions you ask your clients. Example, when would you like to book your next appointment, and how to do it in a non-invasive, non-tacky way, but still let the client know you appreciate them. So after my client service, when I was building clienteles, I would usually ask them. I wouldn't say like, let's book your next appointment. I would usually say, do you want to book your fill, or do you want to just let me know closer to? And I felt like this was a way that it was like, you should book your appointment, but at the same time, don't feel like you have to. And especially when my clientele started growing a lot more and my books were starting to fill a lot more, I basically would say to them, I just want to let you know that my schedule is booking up very quickly. I highly recommend pre-booking your fill. If you want to wait until closer to, I just can't guarantee the time slot that you're going to need. So I kind of leave it up to them. I never pressure people to book an appointment. I did have some clients that would never pre-book their appointments, and then when they wanted to get in the week of and I had nothing, they learned rather quickly that they needed to pre-book. But honestly, I would just leave it up to them. So hopefully this video helped you out. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you have any other tips and suggestions for growing your nail business, definitely comment below and let everybody know. Thank you guys so much for participating in this Q&A. I hope to do one in the future again, and I will see you guys in the next video.